if I call Gavin, I'm like, hey man, we want to do this project, and he's like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Let me call you back. I'm like, all right, so wait for the call back. Call him back. Hey, Gavin, you want to do this project? We got this thing going on. Yeah, let me call you back. And say, hey, Gavin, you want to do? And it keeps going. Well, I don't want to work with Gavin. I want to work with somebody else that goes, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Fortunately, Gavin answers my phone calls and likes to work with us, and we like to work with him. But take that into consideration. If you're with people, especially within your 5 or 4 or 3 or whatever it is, or 2, make sure that they are putting the same in as you are. Like 3-4 years ago, I was pushing. All the guys are like, hanging out, doing this, doing that. And I said, you know what, man? I'm getting drained here. Like I am like butting my head against the wall. And we had a meeting, and I said, hey, either we stop treating this as a hobby, or we do this full out. And there's a big difference. Like I've started to see in like the last 2 to 3 years, like to be identified as Boots. Nobody knows my real name. Nobody. My parents do. My brother does. But nobody. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 people in here that may know my real, true name. But I am like, yeah, maybe. And I didn't even want it on there. Natty screwed. I was like, no, don't put my name on there. That it becomes your identity. And if you're identified as the guy that, works at McDonald's, not the guy from that cool band, you got to start transitioning of this being the part-time thing to the full-time thing. Because nobody knows what I would do to get by every day, but everybody thinks, oh, this guy's in this band and they're doing really well. That's the perception. The perception is that. That's what everybody thinks, and that's what we want people to think. So make sure that you're making that transition from hobby to this is what I'm doing with my life. This is what I want to do, because people recognize that, and people gravitate towards it, and they go, oh man, I want to work with that guy because they're doing things. They're doing it, and I think that's really important when you're making that transition of, being a student. You've been at university for 3-4 years. I'm a student that has a band, to now I graduated. I'm not a student anymore. I have this band, so this is what I got to be identified with. Like I look at Jake. Jake is always playing music. Jake is out playing in bars. His band plays, and literally he could probably quit whatever he's doing on the side, because music takes up probably 90% of your time, and you make money out of it. And like that's what I look at. I go, I look at Jake. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna see Jake out playing the guitar and singing songs, and he's really awesome at it. And that's his identity. And there's but then you look at some people that go, yeah, man, like my band, we're really doing it, like, and they're talking about it. And then you'll see them like 2 months later, and they're like, I'm like, yo, what happened to your band, or what happened to your group? Like, oh man, things didn't work out. Like, this happened and this happened, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then they come back, oh, we got our band back together, man, and we're doing it. Okay, cool. Like let's work together. Let's do something. Yeah, okay. And I see him 3 months later at a show or bar or something. Things didn't really work out, man. I'm just like, okay. So make sure that you change that hobby mentality to doing it full time, because people really, they respect that, and they see that you're doing it. One saying that we always it's like a joke in our band, and Gavin, we told you about it. Everybody goes to us, they go, man, you guys are awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, appreciate it. We work tremendously hard, You know what, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Okay, but as an artist, you don't see like it growing. All you see is, you're making songs, you're making music, and you're like, okay, we're not there yet, we're not doing it. But then on the flip side, you look at it and you go, we are doing it. We keep doing what we're doing. You keep pounding the pavement. You keep doing shows, and all of a sudden you'll have, we started out like, I remember we were originally just a hip-hop group, and Mike and I, the other vocalists in our group, we were just a hip-hop group, going, doing shows. We would go to Detroit. We would go to places that, you would never even walk into. You'd be so scared to walk into, and you have these two guys from Windsor walk in there, and we'd lay down on a performance battle with all these cats from Detroit, and we're looking, we're going, what are we doing? And it just progressed, and people, they recognized us. And then, as hip-hop started transitioning, we started moving into, we added a live band, and we sucked at first really bad. And we really sucked, and we thought we were really good, but we sucked. And, we had, 10 people, 20 people, and like he said, 30, 40, and now we can do, 300-400 people in one room. And you just got to keep doing what you're doing. That's the main thing. And you might not think you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, but the trial and error aspect of it is like key. Like he said, you can drive to Sault Ste. Marie, and the guy said, promise there's going to be 100 people. I've done that. I really have done that. I was like, man, this sucks. Why did we do this? But you'll start to see growth. What's that? Yeah. Oh, totally. And I never thought the past year and a half or two, I see you're a hip hop cat. I'm just, I'm not trying to point you out. I'm a hip hop cat myself. So I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd be sitting with Cypress Hill backstage and B Real's rolling the fattest blunt you ever seen, and he's like, hey man, you want to smoke this? And you're just like, what? Cypress Hill, right? They called us to do a tour with them. Anything we do in Canada, you guys are on it. We love you guys. I would never think 5-6 years ago us going over to Detroit doing these performance battles that 5.5, 6 years, Be Real from Cypress Hill and Sendog, they're like, hey Boots, what's up man? You want to smoke this blunt? Hey, grab some food, grab some drinks, It is, and then go play in front of 5,000 people at the Key in Bala. Great venue. It's on the water in Muskoka, this really crazy venue. And you're like, yeah, keep doing what we're doing. It's actually, we're doing it, And so just, you have these hard times where there's these days you just you get up and you're like, oh, what the fuck am I gonna do today? And then you call, Maddie's my right hand man. I'm like, Maddie, okay, what's going on? That's our guitarist. So what we gotta do? Da, da, da. And then you got Mike. He's on the computer. He's probably messaged all of you in this room to watch our video. Watch our video. And then you guys are like, oh, okay, I'll watch it. So just keep at it. Whatever you're doing, whether it be, if Marty would have quit, he would have still, you started out what in your 15 years old, right? 15, recording hip hop artists as a joke, as a for fun thing, and now he's got seriously, and now you have what, the Ghost of August track that pretty much blew up. You did Ash the Soma, that record blew up. Richie Nick's song that blew up. I don't know. Nah, he didn't blow up. We did okay, but so he kept doing what he's doing. He was seeing some type of progress, and as long as you're seeing progress, that should be enough motivation to keep you going. Don't sit there, especially as an artist, don't sit there and go if you guys are going to Canadian Music Week, don't do the home run. I call it the home run attempt, the big swing. Don't go up and be think that these management guys and agency guys, and they don't give it. They'll listen to you, but in reality, they're going, man, I can't wait to go to the bar and have a drink with him, or they don't want to sit there I saw one guy swear. I was at Canadian Music Week, and everybody's it's like a panel, and everybody's like, hey man, listen to me, right? And this guy had a stack of CDs like this. The guy from Universal, what's his taller guy? I think his name's Kevin something. And I don't know if he still works there. This is a couple years ago. And this guy's walking out with CDs like this. And I watched, and I said, Mike and I went and followed him, so we were walking. The guy's walking, all of a sudden, he does the Houdini, he's talking to somebody, he just kind of goes out the back door. So Mike and I check another back door, so we're following him from 20, 30 feet. Yeah, we stalked him. And all of a sudden, he's just Went down to the thing. Because think about it, like we go on tour and people give us CDs. And we're like stacks of CDs, like, oh man, you guys tour with Cypress Hill, man, check us out, this, there. And we're like, okay, cool. And then we call it the tour stack. Like you have the tour stack in the van, and then when you're driving for like 9 hours, you're like, oh, let's go check out these artists from. But this guy just wants to go to the bar and hang out with his buddies, you know what I mean? And he's not going to bring a stack of CDs at the bar. Like, it'd be ridiculous, you know? You sit at the bar and you buy a drink and there's like this stack of CDs there, right? But you know what? The artist that would have went to the bar and met him and talked with him and bought him a drink probably would have had a better shot than just doing the home run pitch. Because that's just like going up, actually mean, hey, you want a drink? The guy's, oh, this guy's going to buy me a drink. I'll give him 5 minutes of my time, you know? Just as you would to somebody else, like, hey, you want to buy you a drink? Da-da-da. I mean, me, I'm like bad for that. I'll be like, hey, you want a shot? Yeah, I'll give you a shot. Okay, see you, man. We gotta go on stage. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, make sure if you're doing one of those things, don't go up and like, it's like whoring yourself out, and it's degrading to you as an artist. If you have any worth in your music, don't give it that home run attempt. Just stick with that, being an artist, being true to yourself, and don't try that whoring mentality. Like I gotta, like this guy, because he hears it like 1,000 times in a row. And what's gonna make you different? And maybe, I mean, if you're a really attractive chick and you're like trying to, you know, but I mean, look at me. You know, he's not gonna do anything for me. Anyways, I had a couple of things. Don't listen to negativity. I come from an Eastern European background, okay? My father is like, my brother's a lawyer. He's doing really well. He's in Phoenix. And I mean, I'm an educated guy myself, went to school, higher education, the whole nine. But my father is like the guy that's just like, so when are you going to stop doing music? When are you going to get the real job? I'm just like, Tata, like, chill, you know, like, come on, like, just stick with it. And he's just like shaking his head. He's, you know, just, and there's a lot of people like, man, you're never gonna make it, man. Like with the Dewey Beach store, you're never gonna make it, Dewey. You know, he's like, I'm just selling out. You know, I just sold out like Madison Square Garden. You're still never gonna make it. Don't listen to those negative people. I swear, like. And to be honest, there's so many people around you that you have no idea that are so positive. Like, you know, I'll give you an example. Like this guy over here. I know your face. I don't know your name. What is it? Ryan. Ryan is a fan of ours, and I'm gonna point you out because this guy, like, I know him because he came out. He came out to our video shoot. You know, he'll pop up online, say what up, and he also came to our show last night. He's a positive guy, like, and that type of stuff I remember because, you know, you may not think those fans, but this is the guy that matters. This is the guy that, like, makes us work. The guy in the front rocking out to your show makes you look that much better. But sometimes you ignore those positive people, and you're just looking at those, like, the negative, like, oh, you're never going to make it, or, you know, the girlfriend that's like, you're always broke, like, why you can't go out for dinner or anything? And you're like, no, I want to, like, go work on this music. And they're like, this is bull, like, oh my God. And, like, he's like, no, this, you know, screw, yeah. You got a girlfriend like that? Yeah, I know, Jake, I know. That's okay.
Todd touched on a lot of what the manager does, I guess, for us. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just talk over what it is that the lawyer does for you, and what you had to do as far as the administrative stuff in the band, like registering for SoCan and sound, making sure you get all that stuff. Like at this point, like, are you looking for someone to do that? Would that be a manager? Would that be an agent? Like, how does that work? And how do you delegate those things?
You gotta wear many hats, man. I mean, unless you want to pull out a pocket, and you know, most musicians are broke as hell, so. Unless you want to, you know, you got a computer, you got knowledge there, you go in, you go find out how to do it, and it's really simple. They've made it like a monkey could do it. Like SoCan now is like so easy to do, it's crazy. And now the management of SoCan to load up your songs and stuff is so efficient. I'm like, it's like kudos to them because they didn't have it right for a long time, but they got it right. As far as the lawyer and stuff is concerned, it's always good to have a guy that is there. You know, my brother's a lawyer too, but he's in a different type of law, right? So he could technically do it, but it's not his expertise. Where Gene is like, you know, I'll give you an example. Here's a like note to self, people in bands. Make a pre-contract for your band before anything happens, because when somebody quits and there's assets on the line of like CD sales and this and that, like that can be a problem, okay? Because it happened to us and it cost us like, you know, God bless Charlie, our last drummer, super talented guy, just didn't work out for him, no hard feelings, but there was like royalty situations, and we're like, royalties, like we get like $50, you know, like a quarter, you know, we're like, but it's something. But you know, if let's say our new drummer comes along and he breaks this band and our old catalog just starts getting downloaded and downloaded, we would seriously have to cut Charlie checks like every quarter, and it's like the sit on your ass discount, right? So you know, I always say make a agreement with your band, you know, like that's huge. And Gene can, like a lawyer can draw that up. Very simple, like, and it might cost, you know, an hour of his time, but actually he just goes, tick, 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 yeah, what's that, click, print, you know, $100, you know. So, but there is benefits to having that, and that's what happened when Charlie left. You know, fortunate, we came to agreement where he said, you know, I just want credit for writing everything. I don't want any royalty. I just want to be, like, if Wikipedia happened and we were huge, I was in that band. Like, I helped start that band. And God bless the guy, because it would have lost a lot of friendship, because it's like, you know what, we're making, if we would, like, literally it would have had to have been like, if we sold our old album, Sunset Ammunition, we sold 5 of them at a show. I got to give that that $10, I got to write Charlie a check and send him $10. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine how?
Same situation in the Premier League too, and I actually drew it up myself, saying like have him sign it. From this date on, I forfeit all of my rights and all that stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, Gene got me with this other lawyer in New York. He's like, well, he can take care of it. I'll never forget this. I get on the phone with this guy. He has 15-minute increments, right? So I get on the phone. He goes, okay, tell me the situation. I tell him the situation. Okay, yeah, this is what we call it in the industry, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I got a contract for that. All right, I need $150 for this 15-minute phone call. Please FedEx me that check. Once I get that check, I'll send you the contract. Then send me the contract back, then we're good. 15 minutes, $150. And then I'm going like, like 15 minutes of time of this guy's time. Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So as a music lawyer, you don't need to rely on people because
Bulletproof contract is what I wanted, and it was, so.
and that's a great safety net.
Yeah.
There's so many resources available now that you can, like, there's books out there with contracts in templates for $20, $30. You can find them online. What I would do, if I were you, practitioner, I would either get one of those books or download something online, look at it. And most of it's common sense. You can see, you can tailor it to the players you need. And if you really want to get like say, then you take it to some
Yeah.
who will look it over and review the book and say, yeah, it's probably and there are people out there, I'm not pitching myself, but there are people like me out there who specifically want to take the artists to make it a user-friendly experience for
Cool.
You're
Yeah.
talking about don't listen to negativity. Could you talk a little bit about not being part of the negativity? I'll comment before you answer, but we all live in Windsor. We all know what happens. One band around here gets some success,
Mm-hmm.
and one artist in town gets some success, and everybody wants to hate on them or support them. It's a weird small town.
Yeah.
Windsor syndrome.
For sure. See, I'm the opposite of that. Like everybody, I'm like really fortunate because everybody that I don't know why, but like if my name comes up in a conversation, be like, oh man, that guy's really cool, man. I'm like, I'm okay, I guess, you know. But the people that I see having success, I either want to help with that success or be a part of that success. Like, I'll give you an example. Most recently, Richie Nix, we were like, okay, what can we do now? Maybe we should bring in somebody else to garner a new sound or new song or whatever. And Richie's had some very good success, and signed to Universal Republic, and he signed and then he got released, but he's still making a lot of music. And everybody's like, oh, Richie, this, and that. So I call Richie, hey, you want to make this song? Yeah, sure, let's go make it. So we make the song, and I call Marty, I send him the song, hey, what do you think? Oh, it's pretty good, let's work on it. And we're probably going to record it and put it out. I mean, that's the thing, like, I'm starting to talk to Randy from Ash to Soma to try and like, the people that have success have it for a reason, and the only thing that you need to do is pick up a phone or message them or call them, and they'll call you back, and they're going to message you back, because like, that's the power that we all have. Like, how many people in here have actually like walked, like you went out for lunch, and like how many actually said, hey, like, who are you? Like, I want to know who you two are. You two, I was looking around like, who are these two people? Like, what do you guys do? Okay, cool. You just kind of came to check out what was going on. Do you have like an aspiration to be in management or an artist, or like, maybe? You never know. See? But nobody actually like has went like, I see a lot of like different bands that are here or whatever, and like I know all you guys personally, like, and we haven't worked together yet, but I see it could happen in the future. Why not? And negative people, like, it's weird because like sometimes like it's like the dark side. Like sometimes like negative forces like actually attract so much attention. It's weird. Like we started we put this one thing, like we have a lot of good relationships with different promoters, like he was saying, in different markets. Like, I can go out to Flint. Flint, Michigan's a great rock town, and we can get booked there with Kevin whenever and play with big bands, and it's great. Or I go to St. Catharines. I got the guys at Barracuda Pretty. They're just like maniac partiers, and they book us on like they have a true show coming up. He's like, hey, you guys want to play? It's like absolutely absurd for our band to go up and play open for them, and we're not even from that local area, right? But it's funny because like we always say, like, the nice can only get you to, like, it gets you to a point, right? So we make this joke now. It's like, when I see those friends, I'm like, yeah, you know what, man, nice got us to a point, but now we're sick of being nice guys. We're going to be assholes now. So fuck you, man. I'm like you, and so now a lot of those guys that I are friends with, they'll walk in like, hey, fuck you, Boots. I'm like, hey, fuck you too, Kevin, it's weird because sometimes, like, that asshole artist, you'll be like, you're working your ass off as a band, and I see there's a couple guys in here that are like, all you guys are really nice guys. I know all you guys, and you're like doing everything you can, shaking hands, and then there's that one artist that'll just be like, that like standoffish, like, fuck this, fuck that, excuse my language, and then everybody's like, hey man, do you need anything? Do you want some extra like beer? And you're like, what, like, hello, like, we're really nice to you, man. It's weird. So. But I think as far as positivity, work, I'm going to start collaborating with a lot of artists, because why not? Like, why not? What else do you got to do around here? Like, you're in Windsor, okay, you can go out Saturday night, get obliterated downtown, and wake up Sunday and feel like hell. Or maybe you can get with, I could call up Jake and go, hey, Jake, you want to get together and write a song? Why not, right? And then he can be featured on the song, and then, like, all our fans are going to know Jake from I Know Karate, and then all Jake I Know Karate fans are going to know our band, right? And it makes sense, but we just don't do that. It's like the Windsor were like, oh, we're going to go on this course by ourselves and nothing. And I think more so than, there's a lot of Toronto artists, and there's artists everywhere. I think our pool of talent here, from what we've accomplished for so many, we don't have that many bands really here. Or we do have a lot, but like you'll see a lot of success in our area, because there's a lot of talent here just for, I guess like per capita, you could say. So just work together. I mean, like how many, when we're done here, when you go outside, when you go out, make sure you introduce each other, like shake each other's hands. Like I want to know what you do. I'm gonna talk to you after. I don't know. I want to know what like I did. He looks kind of cool, you know. I want to see how, you know, he like his attire. But the other thing I'm kind of, you know, rambling on, but I wanted to open up the floor too, but I also wanted to kind of take questions of like artists or anybody, like if you're in management, because I manage my own band. I am a manager as well. I've done stage managing. I've done tour bus driving. I've been the merch guy. I've done all these things. So if you have any questions that are, you know, anything, I could probably field it pretty good on a grassroots level, guaranteed. So, yeah. Yeah. Right. Buying on, okay. Okay. We have bought on tours before. Okay. This is the problem right now, especially in the States. You have like three B level bands like that are going to go tour, right? And what happened was before they used to bring like an unsigned act, and they might go, okay, we'll put you on this tour. We'll pay $200 a show. $200 a show. Okay, that's no problem. I mean, you play in front of 1,000 people, you can sell at least $700-800 if you're good, and you don't sit at the merch booth like, man, nobody's buying our stuff, man. You know, like our guys are like, hey, you know, I'm so and so. You know, like check out, how'd you like our set? Yeah, it's pretty good. We got some shirts and CDs, and they're like, oh, okay, we'll buy it. You know, but what happens is if you become that buy-on person, that's all you keep doing it. That's all you'll be labeled as. You'll be labeled as the buy-on people. So they're like, oh, we got this tour coming up. We need somebody to buy on. Hey, let's call you. You bought on last time. And then the moment that you say, no, I don't want to buy on, I don't have the money, whoosh, next buy-on person. So that's a problem. But for one-offs or weekends and stuff like that, where you know it might be worth it. Like it's like cost. You know, it's an opportunity cost, like what you're going to gain and lose. I mean, to pay $200 to buy so many tickets, like you buy, like what we would do is buy tickets and then give them away. You give them away to people, and then they come, you know, for $200. You give all those tickets away, and then usually the people you give those tickets away, like, oh yeah, that guy gave me a ticket outside. He's on the stage or whatever, right? Oh, he's pretty cool. They're a pretty good band. And then you play in front of 500 people. You're gonna make that back. You know, you might take a little loss in gas or whatever, but you get that email list, you get that packed up. Next time you hit the market, you email every single one of those people, we're coming back. And then they might bring one or two people. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how it grows. Go ahead. What do we use? Pen and paper. But I'd like to get one of those. An iPad would be awesome. That would be ideal, but, you know. No, it's Bandzoogle is our website, where our website goes on. Like our MikeLords.com is on Bandzoogle, and what you pay like $20 a month, it gives you like 3,000 emails, like and it's really good. I mean, you can design your own templates, whatever you want. And Maddie does, our guitarist designs all our stuff. So you know you can.
There's also MailChimp, which is free, and you know it works pretty well.
Yeah. Reverb, yeah. Yeah. There's so many things on Reverb, though. You're like, what the hell is going on here? You're like, it's like overwhelming. You're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. So.
I know the guys who started Reverb personally. They're all ex-Atlantic.
Yeah, I know the guy. Paul, what's his name? I've met him before a couple times. One guy from New York.
Yeah, you know, it's so busy, and that's my big thing. I've always said to him, dude, it's like it's out of control.
Yeah.
It needs to be clean. You know, Facebook, clean.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got a simple design. You know, and that's another thing. You can get down a rabbit hole with bands. Like when you have a
Simple, clean.
Keep it simple.
Sure, nice, like what, not 1,000 links, where do I look? It's
Yeah.
like, what are you promoting? You can change it.
Check out Bandzoogle. It keeps it really clean. It does. Like it gives your bullets like Facebook bullet, Twitter bullet, like, and you just go
There's
click,
another
ping,
thing
boom.
called